Let's start with a question most people would never admit out loud, but carry silently in the background of their thoughts. Do you believe you're better than other people? Not necessarily smarter, not necessarily richer, but better, morally, spiritually, culturally, racially, religiously, nationally, in some way, superior? If you're being honest, the answer is probably yes, because for thousands of years, human beings have clung to this idea that we are different. We are special, we are chosen, and they are not. It's an ancient belief, deeply wired into our psychology, our religions, and our societies. But it's also a dangerous one, because it allows us to divide, to conquer, to look away, to say, they deserved it. Where does this belief begin? It starts with survival. Early human life was tribal by necessity. We hunted in groups, we foraged in groups. If you weren't part of the tribe, you were a threat or worse, irrelevant. Survival meant loyalty, belonging, us versus them, and from that need, superiority was born. It's easier to fight, compete, and even kill others when you believe your group is better, stronger, more righteous. Answer: humans developed stories to explain this. Stories of origin, stories of gods, stories that made it clear, we are special, they are not. You see this pattern in nearly every ancient civilization. In Egypt, the pharaohs weren't just rulers, they were gods on earth. In Mesopotamia, leaders claimed divine sanction. In China, emperors ruled by the mandate of heaven. In India, the caste system divided people by supposed spiritual purity, embedding inequality into religion itself. Superiority wasn't just cultural, it was divine. And then came monotheism, which refined this idea. The Hebrew Bible introduced the concept of a chosen people. Originally, it wasn't about pride, it was about responsibility. But over time, as empires rose and egos grew, chosen came to mean better. Christianity adopted and amplified this. As it merged with the Roman Empire, the message shifted from personal salvation to cultural superiority. To be Christian became synonymous with being civilized. Everyone else was in darkness. Islam, too, began with a call to unity and submission to one God. But as it expanded politically, distinctions were drawn between the faithful and the outsider. Muslims were the Ummah chosen. Others were kafir outsiders, often despised or dismissed. These weren't the failings of faith, but of people using faith to justify power. Because once someone believes the God's favorite, they stop seeing others as fully human. History shows what happens next. In the age of European empires, colonizers believed they had divine duty to conquer and convert. Indigenous resistance wasn't seen as self-defense, but as savagery. As slavery grew, Europeans crafted a theology of racism. Africans were labeled cursed and animalistic to justify unspeakable brutality. In America, white settlers claimed manifest destiny, a God-given right to conquer land. Native peoples were obstacles, and in the 19th and 20th centuries, pseudosciences like phrenology and eugenics provided a false proof that some races were biologically superior. Nazi Germany built its genocidal regime on this very idea. Every time, the same mindset appears: we are special, we are chosen, we are better, and they are not. This isn't just history. Today, the language is more polite, but the mindset persists. We hear it in politics, in churches, in schoolyards, online, everywhere. People draw lines and declare themselves on the right side. Social media amplifies this tribalism, rewarding outrage and reinforcing echo chambers. This isn't limited to the West. In Africa, intertribal prejudice continues to cause bloodshed. In Asia, caste and ethnic divisions still govern daily life. In the Middle East, ancient sectarian splits still erupt in violence. Even in quiet neighborhoods, people whisper, "We're not like them." It's tempting to believe we've never bought into this. But if you've ever thought your culture was naturally superior, or your religion made you morally better, or felt a quiet relief that you weren't born into someone else's struggle, that is the seed of superiority. And here's the hard truth: you are not special, you are not superior, you are not God's favorite. No race is chosen, no nation is holy, no religion exempts you from the basic rules of decency and mortality. Gravity doesn't care about your wealth. Disease doesn't respect borders. Death asks for no resume. We all breathe the same air. We all bleed the same blood. We all return to the same earth. You are one among billions, a brief flicker in the endless timeline of human existence. And far from being depressing, that realization can be freeing, because if no one is superior, then no one is inferior. If no one is chosen, then everyone is worthy. The child in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Congo, in Myanmar, they matter just as much as you. The refugee, the migrant, the stranger speaking a different tongue, they're not beneath you. They're you, different details, same humanity. So the next time you feel the pull of superiority, pause. Question it. That belief doesn't elevate you. It blinds you. In a world obsessed with being better, the radical truth is this: we are all the same kind of fragile, frightened, dreaming creatures, trying to matter in a universe that owes us nothing. And we find meaning not in being chosen, but in choosing compassion. Not in rising above others, but in standing beside them. You're not God's favorite, you're not nature's masterpiece, but you are human, and that, in itself, is enough.